Amen.
We lift us in this moment. Amen. It is indeed a great, great honor for all of us, the members of the World WIZO Executive, Israel WIZO Executive, and all our distinguished guests, to have this illustrious guest, Lily Thatcher, with us this morning. The idea of this daycare center was born in Guildhall in London, and it was thanks to Lady Sieff that we had the most superb centenary lunch in memory of Rebecca Sieff. And it was Lady Sieff who invited the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Mrs. Thatcher, to be our guest of honor and to deliver her address. We in WIZO consider that education starts in the cradle. And this is why we have built in Israel over 200 such daycare centers. Our colleague in charge, Adina Matalon, who's here, she is in charge of 14,600 children in daycare centers, really from the north to the south across the country. It was thanks to Rebecca Sieff, our great leader, the founder of our organization, that WIZO has built so many schools, agricultural vocational schools at the beginning. She has created a movement abroad in 50 countries, and it is we, her pupils and disciples, that continue her work.
I'm very honored and very glad to be here today, on both sides, on three sides, on the side of Sderot, on the side of WIZO, and on the side of women in politics. You very proud, the Iron Lady. I was very proud with that expression. You are now in Israel. I think that the women of Israel are very special women. Because of the cruel wars, there is hardly a family in our country that didn't lose one of its members in one of the wars. And still living, laughing, bringing children into a world with a hope. And I do think that the women of Israel as a community are iron women and iron ladies.
A great friend of Israel, Vivian Duffy. Vivian has been one of the most generous donors through the Clore Foundation to the State of Israel. And I love the way she puts it when she opens something new. For instance, when she donated the football ground in Jerusalem, she stood there in the middle of the tremendous large football ground. We were sitting thousands of people listening to her. And she says, I don't know why I'm giving it. I hate sports, I hate football, but I do it for Teddy. And she gave it for Teddy. So, Vivian, I cannot thank you enough. You've heard what Minister Namir just said. There are 40% children here in Sderot. So your daycare center, which you donated to us in the name of Margaret Thatcher, will be forever something to cherish in this town for all the mothers and for all the children. Vivian, you have the floor. Thank you.
Lady Thatcher, Mrs. Rabin, Your Excellency, Mrs. Minister, Mr. Mayor, Raya, Lily, ladies and gentlemen. In view of the number of extremely grand and important speakers today, most of whom are great ladies in their own right, and since all I've done for this project is to pay for it, I'll confine my remarks to very few words. Firstly, I would like to add my personal welcome to Lady Thatcher, who is such a good friend of Israel, and to thank her for coming to Sderot to open the daycare centre she agreed we could name for her. I'm very proud that the Clore Foundation should thus be honoured. And on a warning note, I would like to add to you, Lady Thatcher, that this is very much in keeping with our new policy of not naming buildings after my late father, so as to spread the responsibility for future maintenance.
Next year we celebrate 75 years of British WIZO, because British WIZO is the first and foremost of all the federations. And I'm really standing here so excited and so happy about the future and about the promises I know that we will keep as we always do. I thank you, Adina, especially Tova, and all our friends in World WIZO.
It's a great honour and privilege for me to be here today, in spite of the duties that Vivian's put upon me, because my name is on the outside of the building. Nevertheless, it will indeed be a pleasure to do what I can to help. I've been fascinated with the speeches you've made. May I make just 3 points? First, it is said that the history of the world consists of the biographies of great men and women. Men and women who all had one thing in common. None of them sat back and said, what can one person do? I'm only just one. Everyone said, this I believe, this I will do, this I will persist in until my objective is reached. It happened with Chaim Weizmann, who had a great ambition that there should be just one place in the world where young people, young Jewish people, should be able to express their ideals, live their lives, and give back to the community the great heritage which they had bequeathed from their fathers. Your minister pointed out the debt that many people owe to women, and may I in that connection say the debt I owed to knowing Golda Meir, who was a very wonderful person, and who in fact showed us that even at great times of trial and difficulty and danger, a woman prime minister had the heart of a lioness. And as you know, it was Kipling who said, the female of the species is more deadly than the male. And of course it was true in our own country. It has been true many, many times in the history of the world. But in my own time, with Winston Churchill, a great friend of Israel, who again in great times of danger was a leader who never gave up. And because of his tremendous personality, again, changed the world. It is perhaps not surprising that we who believe in freedom, who believe in law, who believe in democracy, believe in the sanctity of the individual, and know that each one matters, knows that, in the words of another poet, Tennyson, each one is different, each one is a miracle, each one by his own hand can move the world. That is how new hopes are born, old hopes are revived, and great occasions like this come from being just a gleam in the eye to a very, very real place which can bring up many children in the path of the best that we know. Again, Rebecca Sieff, someone who didn't say what can one person do, but went ahead and created this organization. People like Vivian, who didn't have to spend her life doing the good work she does. But thank God she does do that good work. Thank God she has made that choice. People like Lily, I shall mention almost everyone here. People like the British WIZO. I know it was so very active in my own constituency, which I had the privilege of representing for 33 years. So it goes right from the top to change the ideas of the world and to bring about great things, all the way through society. Because the whole essence of a civilized society is not that you merely obey the law, important as that is what you do with your life in addition to that, what you do voluntarily, what you can say, this is a better place because I have done something for future generations. What is one of the greatest things you can do in life? It is to see that the next generation has a better chance than many of our families did, that you leave the world a better place because you have passed this way. The children who come here, as you were saying, come, many of them from Ethiopia, and many from Russia. They've never really known liberty in those countries. Because they haven't known liberty, they haven't understood responsibility. Everyone who has a biblical heritage has the greatest heritage that the world and beyond the world can offer. And we are living out that heritage anew and teaching the children the best we know, that they may carry on in future and build an even greater world for generations to come. I have such very great pleasure in being with you today and having the joy of opening this daycare center for over 100 children. Thank you.
And the greatest woman of our generation. Presented to Baroness Thatcher of Sderot with admiration and appreciation on the occasion of the opening of the Margaret Thatcher WIZO Daycare Center, Sderot, 16/11/92. President will WIZO the Executive. Lady Thatcher. Lily, it was your resourcefulness and your idea and your initiative that we meet here today and open the Margaret Thatcher Daycare Center. So here, permit me to present you with the same sculpture which says, presented to Lady Sieff with gratitude and appreciation on the occasion of the opening of the Margaret Thatcher WIZO Daycare Center in Sderot, 16/11/92. Lily, it really is a great pleasure. Vivian, this is on account of the next daycare center. And the second one. Yes, you have given us one in Yavne. That is true. Forgive me, I made a mistake. Of course, this is the second one, but we need a third one in Haifa. And it says, presented to Vivian Duffield, CBE, with gratitude and appreciation on the occasion of the opening of the Margaret Thatcher WIZO Daycare Center, Sderot, 16/11/92. President Will WIZO, the executive, and you're really a friend of it.
Lady? Hello. Ah. Thank you very much.
Немножко.